Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Horror Huddle. I'm your host Stacy Beth, and we have Ash here as always.
Hello.
Yeah, so we wanted to do our 2017 Christmas horror picks. We did an actual written post last year for our 2016 picks, but we thought we'd switch it up a little bit and do an actual audio.
Yeah, try something new.
Do something different, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but last year in my post I had said that Christmas is probably my least favorite of the major holidays, and it still kind of is. It's like,
Same here.
It's all the cheer and like that shitty music that kind of infects your brain like a Yuletide parasite, and I just hate it. Well, like, the last year I found myself softening up a little bit more around the edges with Christmas, and yeah, I know, right? I feel like maybe it's because I'm getting older. I don't know. Is that what happens, Ash? You're a little bit older.
But no, because I'm older than you, and I still do not like Christmas.
Yeah, that's
I never
true.
did. I never really did, because it's the whole idea of everyone's supposed to be over cheery, but it's actually kind of depressing. It's cold. There's not as much sunlight. Everything around you is kind of dying and going to hibernation. Mm-hmm. There's fucking Black Friday and people going nuts because they want to buy a toaster for $5, so they decide to punch an infant for it.
Yeah, punching infants.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Never liked it. That's why I love Christmas horror movies and just the oddball stuff that kind of takes what you expect at Christmas and just kind of warps it, because that's how I see Christmas.
I agree. I guess maybe what I mean in terms of softening around the edges about it, I guess maybe more I just find myself getting a little bit more excited to just at least decorate. I like decorating my house a little bit, of course, with my Christmas tree and stuff, and I've got some really cute ornaments. And just today, funny enough, a good friend of mine, Eric, sent me his Christmas present to me, and I opened it up, and it was one of the Twilight Zone ornaments from Middle of Beyond.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm. It was from it was the Eye of the Beholder ornament.
Yes, that's it.
I just thought that was super cool. So it's little things like that kind of get me hyped up for Christmas, as I get to bring out like my custom Christmas decorations and stuff.
Well, the only thing that's got me hyped this year was when I saw the beard ornaments, because I thought of Adam.
Oh yeah, the damn beard ornaments. God, that's so terrible. I hate it. But it's funny.
But think of him in like his Jason sweater with the beard ornaments.
With some beard ornaments. It's super kitschy. Yeah. Yeah, so while I may be softening around the edges, I still like my horror jagged and bloody, so that's okay. So we're going to kind of go, a turn by turn with our picks. So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say that my first pick for this year is going to be 2017's Better Watch Out. And it just came out on VOD, I think maybe like 2 days ago. So I'm going to keep it super duper spoiler free. I actually watched this one back in July because I had gotten it for a screener for Horror Movies Uncut, which I did a review for that movie on that website back then. And as soon as I watched it, I absolutely loved it, and I immediately knew that it was going to be added to my annual Christmas horror watch list. And just like a quick plot, it's while babysitting 12-year-old Luke, Ashley and he find themselves in the middle of a home invasion that is basically anything but typical. And that's really honestly all I can tell you without spoiling anything. And if you haven't yet, I'd honestly probably even say don't watch the trailer, because the trailer actually does give away a lot of stuff.
I made that mistake personally, and Stacy, I watched it first, and Stacy's like, "Oh, so you heard about it? Have you seen the trailer?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, I wish you hadn't."
Yeah, this is one of those that's best to go into with, as little knowledge as possible, just because there's a lot of twists and turns that will probably kill a lot of the suspense if you kind of like already know it or whatever. But it'll definitely kill a lot of the suspense in the movie if you know a lot more about it. So I'd say if you haven't seen anything about it yet, don't look it up. Just go. I know it's on VOD, it's on Blu-ray, and it's on Shudder right now. So you can go watch it there, and it's highly recommended. And and
I can't say anything about it. I haven't watched it, because once I bought it, Stacey's like, so you got to watch it. I was like, well, you say it's really damn good. I got to wait until Christmas Day for this one.
So Ash is waiting on it. So Ash has it.
I'm waiting.
You actually pre-ordered it a while back, right?
I pre-ordered on iTunes. Mm-hmm. Once I heard all the good stuff, saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I got to own this. And But once I got it, I was like, no, but I want to wait until Christmas Day.
It really is. It really is a fun movie. Like I said, I've heard, and I mean, I've been hearing a lot of good reviews about it and stuff. Of course, you know, you get the people like, it was just okay, which I get it. It's not going to be for everybody. And that's kind of why I can't go more into it, just because Ash hasn't seen it. And because you guys know, if you've watched our
blame me.
Yeah, because if you guys have watched our videos, you know that we basically do spoilers. So that's the only reason why I'm keeping it pretty tight-lipped right now. So I can't talk about it too much now. So I guess we can go on to your pick. Your first pick.
Okay, my pick is going to be a classic, Black Christmas from 70?
Was it
4?
9?
74? 79?
One of the
around there. 70s.
I think it was 79.
Yeah, so basic kind of slasher fare for that time period. Takes place in a sorority on Christmas Eve. All the girls there start getting weird phone calls from someone.
Yeah,
crazy,
some
creepy ass
dude.
Creepy dude. Over the movie, a lot of people get killed. Let's see,
74.
74. Aha, it was right.
74.
I pulled that number right out of my ass, and it was right.
That was a good one.
But yeah, it stars Olivia Hussey as the main character. Don't remember her name at this point.
I don't know. And I
then Margot Kidder from Superman plays the kind of drunk, weird one.
Yeah, she's the drunk. Yeah.
Pretty damn good movie. But again, standard slasher fare for that kind of time.
I mean, I absolutely 100% love this movie. I actually just because it's on my annual watch list. I watched it a couple of days ago just because I was like, I can't wait any longer. Okay, I'm just gonna pop it on, you know. And I sat, and it still creeps the shit out of me every time. Even those phone calls, you know, they're just super duper vulgar and gross, and it's like I was a little surprised that they had those phone calls be so vulgar and crass, you know, and he's saying like, you know, I want to kiss your pretty pink pussy and like all this really gross stuff, and you're like, holy shit, like this guy is going, like they're making him go all out, and it's pretty gross and it's pretty grimy, but I love that about it. It's just got this really dark tone into it, not just for the fact that you as the viewer know that there is a killer in the house, like you as a viewer, you know. Even though we try not to do spoilers now, we got to spoil this because it goes to the ending. Yeah, killer in the house. And funny enough, I'm not sure. I know the urban myth itself might be older than the movie of the killer. You know, the calls coming from inside the house. And I actually had to look it up this year, and I was like, I wonder when a stranger calls. Well,
that's what I was thinking.
79. So this whole thing came out before When a Stranger Calls, but what I was saying is the myth itself of
there was that urban legend that I think
clearly that I didn't look into the timeline of when that urban legend came out, but that was before When a Stranger Calls, when Black Christmas did this, and to me that's still one of the creepiest parts, you know, and it's still because it's, you know, it's 74 and it's like the guy's like walking through those aisles trying to track the phone call and stuff, you know, and I'm like, you know, now they would have found him in, you know, a hot second and been like,
but let's get to that ending. Mm-hmm. Because her and I were talking about the movie earlier, and I brought up the fact, I was like, wait, maybe it's been about a year since I've seen it. Didn't they leave the cops at the end of the movie, leave her in the house at the very end? It's like, here, go to bed. It's okay. The whole house is a crime scene.
Yeah, like just bloody, gross, gory rooms. And it's like they sedated her, so she's crashed out. It's like, so what happens when she wakes up? And she's going to be like, hello? Because nobody was inside the house. They had, at the end of the movie, you see when the credits start rolling, there's a cop waiting outside of the front door. So it's like, why would you not have him outside of her door?
Well, why would you even have her in the house to begin with? You take her to the fucking hospital.
Yeah, thank you. I know. It was a little bizarre, but it's still my favorite, like one of my favorite scenes is that ending when it shows you're realizing that the first one who got killed, she's still up in the attic with that bag overhead and the what do they call them? Basically like the house mother is still up there too, and the camera just pans out and you see that candle flickering and that face in the in the bag, and it just pans out to the whole house and you hear the phone start ringing, and and while the credits are rolling you just hear the phone ringing, and it's just that deafening like phone ring, and you're like, he's still in the house. And it's still hands down one of my favorites.
I agree. It's definitely a great one.
That's definitely one that I have to watch every single year, no matter what. Horror movie wise, of course, I have my others. Are we ready to go to my second one?
Yeah, let's go to your second.
Okay, my second one is The Children from 2008. So yeah, this one pretty much been out almost an entire decade, and I finally got around to seeing it last year. And I don't really see it becoming a yearly watch for me, but I still do think that it's a worthy entry to a Christmas watch list. Plus, it's a great form of birth control. So basically, after two families get together for some holiday bonding, one by one, you start to see that their children come down with some weird, mysterious illness that turns them basically into psycho killers. And that's pretty much it. It's not... You hate all of the characters, including the children. They are all really, really unlikable characters. And the only... To me, other than like, the story is cool, but other than that, the kills and like the injury scenes are really pretty brutal and violent and bloody. So that kind of makes up for everything else. Like, you want to kick the shit out of every person in this movie, especially the kids. Like, you want to drop kick all of them and say to the parents, well, that's what you get. You know, like... you'd seen this one before, right?
No, this one I haven't, because remember, it was last year when you watched this one. It was for, what was that? It was like our Children Who Kill episode.
I think we did. Well, no, I hadn't even talked about this before.
I thought you had, because actually, I thought that was when the episode that I did the what is it? That's not French, Spanish, the island.
Oh, Come Out and Play.
That's it.
Yeah. No, this one I think I was actually entertaining the idea of doing for last year's Christmas pick.
Oh,
I ended up not including it because I didn't get to like fully watch it in time to do it.
So that's why if it was by last Christmas, then I wouldn't have watched that at Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't seen it.
And so last night I saw that it was on, I was up late, and so I saw that it was on HBO On Demand. So I was like, shoot, I'm going to rewatch it real quick and get acquainted with it and see if this is worthy of being on my pick for this year. And I think it definitely is. Like I said, it's a worthy entry to a watch list. I think people will definitely enjoy it if you can get past the really, really unlikable characters. There really is no likable person in this movie.
And you see, that's the one thing that would kill me with this movie, because you know how I am. When it comes to movies with unlikable characters, it's hard for me to become invested.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I just see them as body count. But
funny enough, this movie, the fact that they're unlikable doesn't take away from the film itself. Like, you actually will enjoy the movie for what it is. And I know it's not a novel concept, you know, kids coming down with a mysterious illness. Like, there actually is a movie, I believe, from the 70s I watched earlier this year called The Children. And it's basically... remember the kids in like a school bus go through like a toxic cloud.
Yep.
Like their hands are like basically microwaving the adults and stuff. Yeah. So it's not, don't confuse it with that one, which is still a good, I wouldn't say good, but it's still a decent kids turning into.
Well, okay. You've definitely got me on board. I will have to watch that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to move on to mine?
Yes.
Well, with The Children, she's now got me on board to watch it. Now, here's a movie that now I have to pitch to her to get her to watch it. It is not horror. I know I'm breaking the rules a little bit, but it is a good Christmas movie that's not necessarily your traditional type of Christmas story. Die Hard.
Ah, yeah.
The Bruce Willis vehicle of the 80s. God, I love this movie. Stars Bruce Willis as John McClane, New York cop that decides to go see his wife, who's now kind of separated from him, and she works in not Las Vegas, L.A. Mm-hmm. At this, I don't even know what they do there. It might be a financial thing, Nakatomi Tower, big, huge building, and he's trying to, mend the relationship. He gets there. There's a big party. He tries to, get back with her. And then while he's, I think, in the bathroom, in comes a bunch of Eastern European terrorists. Now, boys and girls, this was before September 11th when all of our terrorists were Europeans.
Yeah.
And Germans. It was weird at the time. But they basically take the whole building hostage except for John McClane, who makes it out. And the whole movie is him trying to fight against, I can't even remember, it's like 30 terrorists to defeat them all and save his wife. All at the backdrop of Christmas. And it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Like there's one scene where he beats the shit out of a terrorist, fights him, breaks his neck, gets his gun, and he decides to mail the terrorist in the elevator back down to the lobby where all the terrorists are with a little message just like on his sweater written in like, I don't know, lipstick or something. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, that's definitely. I need to watch this, and I feel like everybody listening is going to be like, really, Stacey, you have not seen this yet?
You have to, because it's like Bruce Willis, though now it's basically him playing the same character over and over again. This was kind of the first movie where he was really doing this kind of smart-ass, kind of broody, asshole-ish, super, hero type character.
Yeah.
The 80s action star, because before this he was doing Moonlighting? He was a comedian. He was doing like movies like Blind Date.
Okay, yeah.
So this was really breaking the mold for him, and it was really good. And you can't have a good hero character without a great villain. Hans Gruber, played by, rest in peace, Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Just a great actor. He really made that perfect. It's so great. Stacey, please watch it. You'll love it.
I absolutely will watch it. It's so funny because I see, like, of course, around Christmas time is when everybody on my timeline is posting about it and talking, because there's always those debates of, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is it a Christmas movie? It's not. It's not. It is. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I believe people who say it is. So
there's enough Christmas iconography in it to make me feel like,
it's a Christmas film. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, there you go. Then that's something that I definitely need to watch. I'm sure I'll watch it this year, for sure.
That's definitely worth it.
Okay. We go on to mine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So my third pick is going to be 1980s Christmas Evil, also known as Better Watch Out. It actually, funny enough, it starred, the main guy is Brandon Maggart, who I found out was Fiona Apple's dad. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting, because I love Fiona Apple. Yeah. So basically, main gist of it is, as a young child, he sneaks downstairs to kind of get a glimpse of Santa and sees Mommy being groped by Santa, who was, it was his dad dressed as Santa. And of course, it traumatizes him. Flash forward to 33 years later, he's working in a toy factory. His whole life is Christmas. His apartment is decorated. He dresses up as Santa all the freaking time, like by himself. And so he also spies on neighbors with his binoculars to see if they've been naughty or nice. And so you kind of get that he's clearly mentally unstable. So it's not so much that he's just like this psychopathic killer. He is legitimately mentally unstable. And throughout the movie, stuff happens and he kind of snaps one day and starts to go and kill people. And I love it because there's one part that I love, and he had kind of like melted these little like swords onto these toy soldiers, and there's one scene where he like stabs one dude in the eye with it, and it's freaking amazing. Kills people with axes and stuff, but still is like helping good kids and wants to give them presents and stuff. And so kind of it goes on to be this like when they figure out who it is, it kind of turns into this witch hunt, and everybody's kind of going out, and it's almost like Frankenstein, because there's like a scene, if I recall, because I haven't watched it since last year and I have the worst memory in the world, like chasing down the road with like what do you call them? I was gonna say pitchforks, but like the torches and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is like full on Frankenstein style. And you just see eventually this like major decline in his mental health, and he just completely at the end loses it entirely. And I love the ending. So if you guys haven't seen it, don't listen yet, but spoilers, of course. You know, it shows him flying off a bridge in his van into like, which is on the side of it is painted this red sleigh, and he like flies off into the night, which you probably think, you know, is in his own head, because they kind of veer him off the bridge into this van, so he probably crashes off and dies. But in his own,
but maybe not. Maybe he actually turns into Santa.
Maybe he really was Santa, and he's just Santa's a murderer, you know. And I love it. It's still now, since I think I watched it first 2 years ago, and I own it on DVD, Blu-ray. I think, oh, shoot, I feel like an asshole for not remembering who put it out. It might have been Vinegar Syndrome. Correct me if I'm wrong, people listening, but I think Vinegar Syndrome had released it on a really cool Blu-ray. It's just really awesome, and I love it because John Waters like speaks pretty highly of it. Like, so I am like, well, whatever John Waters likes, I like, you know.
Now what year did that come out again?
1980.
You see, that's the problem with me talking about this movie. Mm-hmm. It came out around, you know, the same time period as Silent Night, Deadly Night, mm-hmm. with very similar subject matters. So, like, when her and I were talking about it earlier, she's like, oh, yeah, remember that scene or that scene? I was like, I remember the movie. I've seen it a couple times at least. But the problem is, I was pulling also scenes from Silent Night, Deadly Night and putting it into it. I was like, wait, no, that's not from the same movie.
Silent Night, Deadly Night came out in 84, and they both are pretty similar in the sense that as young children, they see some really traumatic things involving a Santa and go on to have mental health issues.
Yes.
You know, turning them into crazed killer Santas.
Yeah.
Which I will still say, though, in Silent Night, Deadly Night, he had the better kills.
Yeah.
Like getting Linnea Quigley on that, on the antlers.
Yeah.
That was great. That's one of my...
Or the sledding scene. I like that one.
Yeah.
But to be fair, even though I love Silent Night, Deadly Night, you know, it is kind of let's be fair, probably a ripoff.
Oh, totally. I mean, probably. And that's why I love Christmas Evil, because it's more like, it's grimy. Like, it's a grimy, it's not a good movie. Christmas Evil is not a good movie, but it's got this grimy charm to it.
Well, it's probably because of the time period it was released, and just like Silent Night, Deadly Night, and a ton of those kind of early to mid 80s horror movies, when VHS became, you know, available for, you know, smaller time director film companies to record on VHS, it allowed them to do movies on much smaller budgets, and thus releasing these kind of almost grindhouse-ish horror movies.
Yeah. And
which is why a lot of them at the time have that kind of dark, kind of anti-social kind of feeling to them.
Yeah. And I guess I just really like Christmas Evil because you're really seeing this mental decline of this guy, and you almost feel bad for him because it's like he didn't stand a chance, you know?
Yeah.
And the only reason he really snapped, other than just kind of still being a little kooky over as a child, seeing that really traumatic experience, you know, he realized that people were treating him really shitty as an adult and just really taking advantage of him and exploiting him and stuff. And so you feel for him in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of almost are like, well, I mean, I don't blame you for snapping, but, you know. Well,
and that's a stroke of genius as far as the director, you know, and the writers said, because, you know, again, just like I was telling you with other movies, if you can't feel sympathy for some of the characters, then it doesn't matter. It's like the fact that you feel kind of the pathos of this character. It's like, dude, he's been dealt this shitty ass hand. Mm-hmm. I can kind of understand why he did it. It makes you kind of feel sad at the end when he drives the van off, and you're like, oh, dude, he died.
You're like, he just wanted, like, because I think, and like I said, there's a scene when he steals a bunch of toys and stuff and goes to, like, a bunch of kids and is, like, giving toys away and stuff, you know? And it's like, so he's not, like, a really shit guy, you know? But when people are coming at him and talking shit, and he's gonna fucking snap on you.
Yeah.
So he's still a dickhead,
but to be fair, this movie would have turned out way differently if I was the kid. If I saw Santa Claus having sex with my mother, I'd blackmail him.
Yeah. Well, he was.
I'd be writing my Christmas letter. You son of a bitch! I saw you fuck my mom. I'm going to tell my father, and he's going to kill you if you don't give me all these presents, and just make a really long list.
Right. Well, he wasn't even having sex with the mom. He had his face down by her.
That's still sex.
So, he was still doing which I feel like it's more traumatic to see that than Santa fucking your mom. I feel like it's more traumatic to see him going down on her. I'd be like, what the heck? And as a child,
I'd be like what the Santa, that's not where the cookies are.
Yeah. She's like, there's a certain kind of cookie, but not the one you're thinking. Like, okay. So we'll get away from that. So.
Let's on to our last one. Now, this is something you and I will talk about because this is a movie that we both absolutely freaking.
And it was actually your pick on last year's list.
Let me just say, the reason for this pick last year is because I had not watched this movie until last year. And guess who was the one that told me to watch it?
Me.
In fact, wasn't I at your house when I saw it the first time?
When you were here for Thanksgiving, I think. Yeah.
And then I saw it, I was like, holy shit, how did I not watch this for, what was it? Came out in 2007?
9. I believe I was like, 9.
I've not seen this movie until now. It is so damn amazing.
You might be 7. We're totally off on our years, guys. Yeah. Don't hate us for it.
But it just, it's a French, is it French horror?
It's a French horror, yeah.
Oh my God, it is so good. It's probably one of the best home invasion movies I've ever seen.
It's really fucked up. Do you want to say a little bit about what it's about?
Okay, basic premise is the main character, she's driving. Did they give a date around when she was driving?
Not that I recall.
She gets into a car accident. Husband dies. Now she's left alone with her child.
Well, she's pregnant.
Yeah, pregnant with her child.
Yeah.
She's at home alone during Christmas, first Christmas without her husband, kind of sucks, kind of depressing.
Yeah.
And she starts hearing someone rings her doorbell, she looks out, no one's there. So she starts getting like weird stuff, weird vibes, and you find out there's a woman trying to invade her house and possibly do very bad things to her.
And she does.
She does. Yeah,
she does do very, very bad things to her.
Very graphically bad.
The part that I still remember is the and I don't know the scissors through the hand.
Scissors, yeah.
And
the scissors to the stomach.
Mind you, it is not a happy-go-lucky Christmas horror movie. There is nothing charming, even in its horrificness, about this film. Unlike, Christmas Evil or Silent Night, Deadly Night, or any of these other movies, there's nothing charming about this movie. It is a French extremity horror. It is fucked up.
It's very fucked up.
Very gory.
The execution is very well
violent.
Done. The thing that really sticks with me is the violence and gore done very well. It's over the top, but not unrealistically so.
But that's what you can expect from those French extreme movies. Yeah. And it's from the same guys who did Livid or Livide, I don't know, however you say it. So it's pretty fucked up, you guys can understand. I definitely wouldn't recommend this for anybody who is pregnant or has a significant other who is pregnant. Do not watch it.
Or has that version to kind of realistic depictions of gore and violence.
Don't watch it at that moment. Wait till maybe the baby's born, and then you can watch it. But
it's brutal. It's a brutal movie to get.
So it's definitely it's worth talking about a second time. Yeah. And the reason we also wanted to bring it up is Ash had mentioned to me the other night is I was up 4 a.m, didn't feel good, and I texted Ash, and sure enough, he was awake too, and so we just started talking, and he sent me the trailer for the Inside remake.
Yeah, which you had previously told me that they were...
Apparently, I had seen it. Well, apparently I had seen the trailer months and months ago, but I guess I'd forgotten for good reason.
Well, no, I think it was a matter of you heard that they were remaking it, but it wasn't an American remake. It was like a Spanish
American.
Well, Spanish.
It was a Spanish production.
Well, and that's all we heard at first, and we're like, a Spanish remake? Why?
Yeah.
And then the trailer finally comes out. I was like, okay, this is the Spanish, version. We start watching the trailer, and it's they don't look Spanish. They look American, and they're speaking English. Oh no!
Well, then
it's a Spanish production making an American remake, which I hate. American remakes of foreign films.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Martyrs,
Quarantine.
Yep, terrible. And funny enough, I realized when I watched the trailer that the lead female is played by the lead female in P2, which was one of my Christmas picks last year. And so I was like, oh, okay, so she's got a Christmas theme going on here.
Okay, which let me just say, I'm not necessarily against her being cast in a role like that. I just don't have any hopes at all for this remake.
Did we see when it would come out?
I don't remember if there was a.
I never got a release date. Yeah.
But here's a few kind of things that I kind of anticipate. The violence and gore not going to be nearly as big as the French one, which again is going to detract from the impact that the movie is going to have. It's going to be whitewashed. It's going to be just kind of sanitized for American audiences that. Because I was telling you, I was like, think if Inside would have been released wide theatrically, how many people would have went into the movie going, okay, it's going to be a nice kind of horror movie, and literally have to walk out or throw up because of all that gore.
Yeah. This is going to be super sanitized.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, you cannot sanitize this movie and still have it be as good. That's the problem with American remakes. Wreck worked because it had dealt with that religious kind of demonography kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the Americanized one, let's not have demons. Let's make it a form of rabies.
Yeah, like a mutant strain of rabies.
Yeah.
I don't have high hopes for it whatsoever, and we're probably in the right for thinking that way. But
even that said, we're still probably going to have to watch it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure eventually you'll end up seeing a double feature video from us in terms of the original and the remake. So that'll be a thing that'll happen. I'm just not holding my breath on it being any good.
It'll be half a video of us glowing about a movie and half of us shitting on one.
It'll be like 30 minutes on one and 10 on the other. So those are your picks?
Yep, that's it.
Yep, and I got my picks out of the way. So those are the ones that we think you guys should check out before the end of the year. We hope you guys like listening to this. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Take care.